On the biggest of sports weekends in the Inland Northwest, arena football takes center stage here tonight at Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. The Spokane Shock trying to win for the first time this season against their arch nemesis, the San Jose SaberCats, in a Pacific Division showdown. Alongside Mike Peterson, I'm Sam Adams. It's Hoop Fest weekend in Spokane, Ironman weekend in Coeur d'Alene, but for our money, Mike, nothing beats this matchup. Spokane has an axe to grind tonight against the San Jose SaberCats.
Well, Spokane certainly does. Not only just getting obliterated in the first home game, San Jose has had Spokane's number going back to last season and in the playoffs. Spokane definitely is going to have a chip on their shoulder tonight with something very big to prove.
SaberCats #1 in the Arena Football League polls, and they have the best record in the league, and they have beaten Spokane 5 times in a row. So it comes down to quarterback, as always, in this league. Spokane and head coach Andy Olson hoping they have the answer. Remember, week 6 starter Carson Kaufman making his first start since then last week. A big-time performance in Portland.
A breakout performance last week. 9 touchdown passes, as you see there on the graphic. And he was AFL Offensive Player of the Week for that performance against Portland. This is a new matchup because Kaufman has yet to play against San Jose, so he's going to give San Jose a new look. He certainly got it done last week.
But there's a lot of familiarity. Meanwhile, on the other side, for San Jose, Eric Meyer comes in. This will be his first performance in a San Jose uniform in this building since leaving this team in the offseason.
Yes, and again, a different matchup for Spokane as well. Last time it was here, it was Nathan Stanley. Now they're going to see Eric Meyer. Eric Meyer, again, among the elite in the AFL, 2013 MVP right here in Spokane. He has not lost anything, still among the elite. Major challenge for this offensive juggernaut.
SaberCats are rolling right along in the AFL season. Spokane scratching and clawing to get into that postseason picture. When we come back, we'll kick things off. It's AFL on a Friday night in Spokane, and it's next. The world's largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament takes center court tomorrow here in Spokane, but tonight, got a little 8-man football. We've got Spokane Shock taking on the San Jose SaberCats. Welcome wherever you may be watching worldwide here on SWX. San Jose won the coin flip, deferred, so the SaberCats will kick off and Spokane will receive, working right to left on your TV screen. Wearing the all oranges tonight with the white helmets. And our kickoff is sponsored by your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores. It will be the deadly accurate Nick Pertwee on the kickoff for Spokane. And back to return is Amos, famous Amos, Anthony Amos, out of the end zone, dances up to the 5, to the 15. Great return up to midfield, to the 20-yard line, all the way down to the San Jose 17-yard line on this opening kick. 39 yards for the electric Anthony Amos.
And Sam, a blow-up, I mean literally a blow-up block by Truesdell. Look at the San Jose player to the left, just getting blown up and on the ground. That was Truesdell, and Amos just going north-south, weaving in a hurry.
So Spokane with great field position already at the 17-yard line. And it's Carson Kaufman under center. Throw into the end zone. First play is into the dream zone, into the recliners. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. And Carson Kaufman making the start. And then a new receiving core. Nick Truesdale, Jabin Sembrano. Amos leads all rookies this year in receiving with 70 catches for 758 yards. Rory Nixon is the fullback. The offensive line anchored by Patrick Afif, the former Washington State Cougar, and Sam Tapua as well. Second down and 10. Kaufman quick drop, and he bobbled it and lost it. Did Truesdale. Truesdale coming off a record performance for him. Personal best, 5 touchdown receptions last week in Portland. For the San Jose defense, Dante Page-Moss, Jason Stewart, Luis Vasquez, the defensive line. Maka leading the linebackers along with Highland. Fontanet, veteran defensive back alongside Obi and Thomas. San Jose, by the way, with 3 of the top 6 sack masters in all of the AFL this season. Kaufman avoids one rusher, throws it into the end zone. Ill-advised throw is intercepted into the end zone. Somehow he got the throw off, but Fontenette was there to make the INT.
But it's a free play, and Kaufman knew it was a free play. That's why he threw it up for grabs in the end zone. Otherwise, he's not going to make that play. In fact, defensive end was unabated the QB. I thought they might even call it dead.
Offside defense, number 36, 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Well, so maybe not an ill-advised throw because he sees the defensive end jump the line. Free play, throw it in. You got nothing to lose.
And I was actually very surprised the referee let that play go live because that's about as unabated the quarterback as you can. Kaufman doing a good job not getting slammed to the ground, avoiding contact.
3rd down and 5, it says. As Kaufman ready to throw over the middle, Amos makes the catch. What a grab. 4 yards past the first down marker. They are inside the KFC red zone all the way down to the 3.
Yeah, and on the 3rd down, there was the incompletion in the end zone, the drop by Truesdell, and then you get 3rd down all over again. So 3rd and 5 at Spokane in the red zone.
So Spokane marching as Kaufman making the read, a little bit behind the receiver, Amos, but he still makes the grab. 1st and goal from the San Jose 3 on this opening possession. As Arvell Nelson is the quarterback, pitching to Kelly. Bryson Kelly on the pitch. So Arvell Nelson, you may remember him from the 2013 season when he appeared as a rookie playing at quarterback, wide receiver, jack, linebacker, pretty much anywhere as a rookie. And here he is now for his 2nd go-around, a mid-season acquisition. He has just joined the team in the last few weeks, and he is part of this red zone package.
Well, I was going to say, and here you see it, kind of that Wildcat offense with shotgun.
Here he is, Nelson. Nowhere to run, down at the 4.
And I don't hear a whistle, and San Jose's got the ball. He's off to the races, Sam.
Unbelievable. So loses the football. One way or the other, Fontenette was going to get the football. He may have gotten it taken back on the interception that was called back. This time he gets it on a fumble recovery. Wow. After the long return, deep inside San Jose territory, and then sniffing at the goal line, and Nelson lost the ball.
Yeah, I would like to, if we have an opportunity, look at the replay. Here it is right now. And you can see he spins and gets stood up, tries to fight for extra yardage, and somewhere in there is when this ball comes out. And it looks like he just got stripped.
San Jose passes incomplete. Penalty markers.
Meanwhile, San Jose had a pass fall incomplete, and play whistle dead with multiple flags coming in.
False start, offense, number 32. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So that will go against San Jose. Our officials tonight, John Love is the referee. Al Granado, the umpire. Head linesman tonight, Andy Warner. Terry Valenti, line judge. Back judge is Craig Faulkner. And Carl Paganelli is on replay. 1st down and 15 for the SaberCats. Eric Meyer, the former AFL MVP, under center, throws over the middle, caught just past the 20-yard line, still shy of the 1st down marker. Let's take a look at the San Jose starting offense here tonight after the turnover deep inside their own territory. Darius Reynolds, Reggie Gray, the electric wide receiver, and DJ Stevens. Odie Armstrong, the fullback, and he is always a threat to score. Jones, Madison, and company on the offensive line. 2nd down and 4. Gray, high motion man, looking for Gray. Caught at the 20-yard line. And brought down at the 15 by Mike McMillan. Let's introduce you to the Spokane defense now. Ruffin, Taylor, and King. 18 sacks on the season, 6th in the AFL for this unit. Summers and McCullough, the linebackers. Kemp, McMillan, and Richards in an entirely overhauled defensive secondary.
Defensive secondary, all rookies, but very quick, very athletic, and you're going to see a lot more man-to-man and test the athleticism of these rookies.
Gray again in high motion. Meyer out of the pocket, throws into the end zone. Had Gray caught for the touchdown as he goes over the wall. So Gray, who had been held without a score for the first time after a streak of 9 straight games with a touchdown, gets touchdown number 30 to put the SaberCats on the board.
And that's why they call him Big Play Reggie Gray. A double move, almost a triple move. Fake to the right, fake to the left with a couple steps, and then back across to the outside. Indefensible, and there's absolutely no pressure on Eric Meyer. He will eat this defense alive with that kind of time.
Held to 8 catches and 67 yards last week after a stretch where he had scored 15 touchdowns in 4 games. Pertwee, meanwhile, with a PAT, it's good. San Jose strikes first, 7-0. Spokane will try to get that touchdown back when we come back. Here's a look at our VPI Home Solutions scoring recap. 3 plays, 34 yards, 1 minute, 32 seconds. Meyer to Gray. A deadly combination in the AFL. Gray with his 30th touchdown catch. And Meyer, who's been battling injury this year. Welcome back to Spokane, the former Eastern Washington Eagle. His first game back in Spokane since leaving during the offseason to sign with San Jose. So Pertwee will kick off, and Amos, who had that long return to start the ball game, will get another crack at this one. It'll go into the stands. So Spokane finds itself down 7-0, and Mike, that's one thing they can ill afford to do is give up points. You can say what you will about the offense, which has been somewhat inconsistent, but to Andy Olson's defense, they've been rotating quarterbacks kind of in and out, trying to find something. It's been the defense, giving up a league worst 58 points per ball game. Not a whole lot has gone right this year for the defense.
No, it hasn't for the defense, but on that first drive, I'm going to lay that one on the offense. That is just sloppy ball security in the red zone. You've got to have 2 arms around that ball.
Here's Truesdale coming off that monster performance in Portland as he picks up the first down. Gain of 11 for Nick Truesdale. He's a guy still, you know, Mike, he's 6'7", out of Cincinnati. He's a guy that you wouldn't be surprised if he can put it all together. He could be playing on Sundays.
Well, he's been in NFL camps, hasn't stuck, but if he puts on a performance consistently like he did in Portland last week, 5 TD receptions in the first half alone. Amazing. Let's see what he has against San Jose tonight.
Amos, the motion man. Kaufman lofts one up. There's a flag on the play as Amos makes the catch. Covered by Thomas.
And Spokane will decline this, but number 36 for San Jose, that should be his second offsides, which means you're done for the half.
Defense, number 36. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is first down.
So that he's coming out because if you have 2 offsides in a half, you are done for the half, and that's his second offsides. Even though it's declined, he is done for the remainder of the half. In the second half, another offsides, and you are done for the game.
That's a tough break now for San Jose. Drive continues for the Shock. 1st and 10 from the 17. Kaufman will get wrapped up and sacked for a loss past the 20-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play. San Jose coming in with an AFL best 32 sacks on the season, so bump them up 1 more to 33 on the year.
And here we see the secondary cut. Pretty good coverage. All 3 receivers well blanketed. Nothing to throw to if you're the quarterback.
Kaufman feeling the rush again. There's Truesdale, and incomplete, broken up. Fontenette playing out of his mind right now. Remember, he had the interception taken back. He had a fumble recovery. He nearly had an INT there.
Well, look at Fontenette's closing speed and angle. Not only does he close, but he takes the perfect angle underneath Truesdale. Now, what Truesdale's got to do is chop his steps and shield Fontenette. Yeah. But Truesdale made more of a rookie-type mistake. Unpolished, kept running through the route instead of chopping his feet.
On 3rd and 14, nowhere to run for Truesdale as he is wrapped up immediately in open field by Fred Obie. So that brings up 4th down for the Spokane Shock on their 2nd possession.
Yeah, on the play before, again, as a receiver, you have to adjust to the ball. Just because the ball's in the air doesn't mean you keep running your route at the same trajectory. Chop your steps and shield the ball from the defensive back. That could have easily been a touchdown with Truesdale's size on Fontenette.
Zambrano in high motion. Kaufman thrown to Zambrano in the end zone and broken up. Fontenette, I know he wanted the interception there, but he was actually better off kind of plucking that one. They'll get better field position now with the pass breakup. So now a turnover and then a turnover on downs for the Shock offense. San Jose back on the field when we come back. And on the VPI Windows Custom Fit for Life. All right, folks, let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game. They're brought to you by Spokane Boys, your answer for all seasons.
If it's a shootout, this is going to heavily favor San Jose, virtually guarantee them a victory. 7 times San Jose's been over 60 points. They've won every one of those games. And Truesdale, big breakout last week versus Portland. He's emerged as Spokane's big play and guy and go-to wide receiver. Force a wide receiver other than Truesdale to have a big game tonight.
San Jose's drive will start from their own 17-yard line after the turnover on downs. Meyer plenty of time. Pass caught by Gray up to midfield, just shy at the 24-yard line. So the SaberCat offense setting a blistering pace early on. Take a look at the Spokane keys now.
Have to get to Meyer. That's San Jose's only weakness. They've had 24 sacks on the year. It's critical for Spokane to be competitive and mistake-free. Can't throw picks. Can't have bad ball security, incorrect decision-making, silly penalties. Just have to play clean and mistake-free tonight.
Another good pass by Meyer, caught at the 15, down to the 14 is Gray. So big play Gray, another play for him as they move the chain.
But importantly for Spokane on that play, Ruffin from the outside edge and Terrence Taylor up the middle both got to Meyer, got pressure and knocked Meyer down. Need a steady dose of that pressure all game long. They must be relentless.
San Jose leads all of the AFL with a plus 18 turnover margin. They're plus 1 here tonight. Meyer slings one at the 5-yard line and stuck at the 5-yard line. McMillan makes a touchdown saving tackle, but Nelson makes the catch. Ben Nelson, 2 yards shy of the first down marker.
McMillan has been impressive. He's got the tool set. He is quick, he is agile, and look at the open field tackling we have seen out of him tonight.
Mike McMillan, just his 2nd game here in the Arena Football League, had 2 interceptions Sunday in his AFL debut against the Portland Thunder. Meyer sidearm sling again to Gray for the touchdown. So Meyer to Gray for a 2nd score as San Jose is out to a 2-touchdown lead here in the first quarter.
Holding defense, number 23. A penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
That is a defensive hold decline. So the SaberCats have struck again here with 3:45 to go in the opening quarter.
And once again, Spokane a chance on the opening drive to get in that leader position. 7-0, staring them in the face. That costly fumble, and now in a big hole against San Jose.
Pertwee tacks on his 2nd PAT, and it's 14-0 SaberCats. Meyer has not missed throwing. Gray 5 for 52 and a 2nd score for him. It's 14-0. Fit for life. The Shock have had the ball for 6 minutes and 29 seconds. Have no points to show for it. San Jose has touched the ball for just 3:42. They have 14 points. Talk about your exponential pace right now for San Jose.
Well, and I will, any coach or any fan, any player in this league, you'll take efficiency over time of possession. There's your stat.
And into the stands again, so no return for Amos, as we'll take the timeout. 3:26 to play in the first. San Jose 14, Spokane nothing. All right, you can see the fans still into this one with their home team down by 14 points. The Shock take over from their own 5-yard line. 3.5 to play in this opening quarter. It has been all San Jose.
So you see that fan doing the dance? That's what happens when you throw out a promo. That's dance for your dinner dance right there, Sam.
High throw. Zambrano somehow brought it down and in. Hogtied by Fontenette, a yard shy of the first down.
And because that throw was high and bobbled, Fontenette, instead of coming in and blowing up the receiver, actually was trying to play the bobble and barely got a piece of the Shock receiver there. I tell you what a player, Fontenette. If we were having the vote today, my selection would be him as Defensive Player of the Year. We still have a lot to play. That's the kind of season he's been having.
Kaufman lobbing one up. This is Truesdale who had to cut off the route. He's down on the turf. They want flags here in Spokane. Doesn't look like they're going to get one.
Step by step, ball's clearly underthrown, and you'll have the back judge's view right here. There is nothing
just
at
turned
all.
The ankle.
Yep, just a trip. Very well played. Look at the angles and just the skill set that Fontenette has on his coverage. I mean, just no missteps. Just that is perfect technique.
Shock facing a 3rd down and 1. They're going to throw here. Complete. This is Truesdale. Truesdale, as big as he is, maybe most dangerous in open space. After he gets the ball, Mike, he is among the best at getting players to turn around, getting through players, and getting extra yardage.
He's got really good speed, and at that 6'7" frame, he's just a galloper. So he's what you would call an underway runner. If he gets any kind of momentum, good luck trying to keep up with him. And he's got that 6'7" verticality you got to deal with.
Amos high motion. There's a false start on the right side of the offensive line, I believe. Looks like it'll be on Dever
False
Gallatin.
start, offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And it is indeed on Gallatin. Gallatin has kind of shuttled back and forth between fullback and offensive line this year. Shock really, you look at the offense overall, Mike. Kaufman getting the start this week. He was the week 6 starter. Then it was Warren Smith between week 6 and now, or a couple weeks ago for that matter. That's been musical chairs. The wide receiver position has been up in the air. Rashad Carter now on the sidelines. Mike Washington done for the year. More on that in a moment. This is Amos, who's been one of the good stories about this offense this year. Leads all rookies in the AFL coming into the ball game. 70 catches, 758 yards, 13 touchdowns. What you'd like for him to be is a complimentary receiver, but right now, just because of the sheer volume of players being lost in the receiving corps, he's had to step up and be a number 1.
Yeah, in fact, the last home game against San Jose, that's when Mike Washington went down with that Achilles, and talk about a devastating injury.
Spokane averaging 3 yards per play. Little wobblers caught by Amos along the dasher board, and he's stopped a few yards shy down at the 17-yard line in San Jose territory.
Well-designed play. Zambrano and Truesdale going left or right, both on crossing and post routes. One on a crossing, one on a post route. And Kaufman with really nice time. You see everyone flush to the left, opens it wide open on the left side. Very nice pickup. Very well-designed play.
And at the end of 1 quarter of play, San Jose 14-0 against Spokane. The league's best team playing like it right now. We head to our first break before the second quarter. We're back with more Shock football after this. Quarter of play, Mike Peterson, as we begin quarter number 2.
Well, if you look at San Jose's offense, there's only been 1 quarter all season they have not scored a point or been shut out. Spokane against San Jose in 2 of the games been shut out 2 of the quarters. Make that 3 now within the first quarter of this game. Remarkable.
Shock getting a much needed conversion there on 3rd down. So they're now marching downfield trying to break up that shutout. Like, again, I mean, the numbers don't lie. You talked about the shutout quarters for San Jose against Spokane. The bottom line is they won 5 straight against the Shock, and Spokane just grasping at straws right now, trying to figure out a way to beat these guys.
Well, Spokane offensively got dismantled in that first quarter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one, Sam.
First down from the 9 into the end zone. A little push off there by the wide receiver Truesdale, who comes up with it. San Jose wants offensive pass interference. They're not going to get it as Truesdale makes the grab and the Shocker on the board.
Truesdale isolated on Fontenette in the back corner of the end zone. Kaufman throwing that ball high. Truesdale with a great one-handed catch, but I do believe he got away with a push.
Rowan on to attempt the point after, a non-reviewable play, of course. Taylor Rowan on to attempt the PAT. 72 of 85 on extra points this year. And that one's good. Spokane on the scoreboard with 13:46 to play in the second, 14-7. Nick Truesdale with his now 6th touchdown in the last 2 weeks.
Now watch that. Little nudge. That's going to be deemed incidental. Little bit of a push, but that was as much Fontenette's momentum as it was Truesdale with a little assist there.
There's the downhill look. Truesdale, there's a couple big fellas. You got Afif there, Truesdale.
And of course, Cruisenberry, defensive coordinator. Cruisenberry, he's a big boy himself. Head coach Andy Olson right there. Big spark Spokane needed.
Truesdale's 6'7". Afif is right up there as well. Those are some big boys.
Big boys game. Big boys and fast boys game.
Truesdale with his 18th touchdown catch of the season in his 2nd year in the league. He had 7 TD catches in 9 games last year. Came over from the Colorado Ice in the IFL. A lot of upside. And Mike, every week we've seen him, he seems to be getting better and better figuring this game out.
Oh, again, 5 touchdowns. It was his coming out party last week. 5 touchdown receptions in the first half, 13 touchdowns his last 4 games, and going against the best in the business, and I'm just going to call him that defensively right now. Fontenette is the best in the business in the defensive backfield. He won the one-on-one battle.
Reggie Gray back to return. Rowan the kickoff. Off the net. Out to the 5, 10. There's a flag to the 20 now. Has to beat Rowan. He does. And he is into the end zone, but I believe this one will be coming back.
There's a big-time push in the back, and you'll see it right there on the 5-yard line. I believe the culprit was number 7 for San Jose. And San Jose gets started on their 2.5-yard line.
Block in the back. Receiving team, number 7. Half the distance to the goal. First down, San Jose.
Very obvious. Watch right in the middle of the field. You see a Spokane, but right there. And that was it. Number 7, blocked in the back.
Darius Reynolds. You'll see him on offense as well as a wide receiver. Took a couple of breaks for Spokane. First of all, what could have been offensive pass interference, but we could see on the replay, it looked like more it was just momentum more than anything. But that one could have been called either way. And Spokane now trying to defend here and stop San Jose for the first time.
Good look off by Meyer. He was looking at high motion, who was Reggie Gray, and then checked off to Nelson on the outside. That's just going through your progressions very rapidly on a 3-step route and 3-step drop.
Eric Meyer, 223 career regular season touchdown passes with Spokane. And now over in San Jose, Gray with the catch, bottled up by Jeff Richards. Entirely rookie secondary, and it's not as if these guys were brought up together at the start of the season, Mike. These are all mid-season acquisitions. Ricardo Kemp playing his first game tonight. He's number 21. Jeff Richards, this is his 5th game. And Mike McMillan right there, number 26, just his 2nd career AFL game. A lot of newbies in the secondary. Meyer lost one down the sideline. Almost, but incomplete. Intended for Reynolds. Covered by Richards.
We get a look at a replay. Terrence Taylor, that is just a bulldog of a rush. Took the offensive lineman and literally just ran him right back into Eric Meyer. You talk about getting a push up front, that is just classic.
Second down and 10 as we have another look at that Peterson requested replay.
And look at Taylor just driving. He's on the outside. He's normally there in the middle.
Meyer under duress has to throw it away, and he does. Souvenir football. Meyer now 9 of 11 throwing the ball. There is a flag back towards the line of scrimmage.
There is no foul for intentional grounding, but holding. Offense number 70, 10-yard penalty. That'll be half the distance to the goal.
This is a very interesting twist by Travis Crusenberry, the defensive coordinator, moving Terrence Taylor, who is one of the best in the league at the nose guard position, moving him to right outside edge rusher, number 67 there on the right outside. There's Crusenberry right there. This is a very interesting strategic move. He is just bull rushing from that right defensive end position right there.
Boy, you get a full head of steam with that man. Look out.
He's wreaked havoc on 2 plays in a row.
Second and 20. They fight size with size. It won't be enough for a first down, but it is a big gain for a big fella, Rich Ranglin.
And that's the chess match, because how do you counter a bull rush? You sneak out your tight end just like that. That is a great play call.
Ranglin, all 6'3", 315 pounds of him with that grab.
Well, and Ranglin doing a nice job feigning the block and holding that for enough of a count to where Taylor bites. When he releases, Taylor's thinking, hey, I have a free shot on the quarterback, zipped right over the head for a big gain.
San Jose has allowed 24 sacks this year. That's second to last in all the AFL. Third down and 4. Meyer with a quick drop and throw caught. And that's Nelson who will pick up the first down and then some. Down at the 13-yard line, moves the chains.
San Jose bouncing back in a hole, 2nd and 15, and next thing you know, they're knocking on the red zone. What a great offense. Well, Leeds, best team by far in the AFL. That one loss shows they are beatable, though. But number 1 offensive points per game, number 1 points allowed on D. Quite a team.
Meyer looking. Flag comes in. Into the seats goes the ball.
And Terrence Taylor is going to create a hold on number 70. They are not able to contain
Holding.
him.
Offense number 70, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's all Terrence Taylor. San Jose does not have an answer for Taylor coming off the edge other than what we saw the tight end passing game. You'll see the hold right here to the left side as Taylor's coming. You can see the hold right there, keeping him from getting to Meyer. Correct call.
That is 6 penalties now on San Jose. Just over 9 minutes to play before halftime. First down and 20. From the shot 22, Gray is the motion man. Throw into the end zone. Incomplete. Nelson, the intended man, covered by the rookie Kemp.
Spokane using this athleticism from all these quick athletic rookies and playing a lot of man-to-man defense, which means if you don't do the quick hitter, a lot of 5-step drops over the top, and with Terrence Taylor wreaking havoc right now. Interesting turning point early in the game. Keep your eye on 67, right end defensive Taylor, Terrence Taylor, right defensive end.
Nelson is the motion man on second down. Meyer on the run. Goes through McCullough before he's finally brought down at the 15-yard line. 2 yards shy of the initial line of scrimmage.
And Taylor appears to be gassed because it's a different set of muscles and a little different cardio as an edge rusher than when you're going right up the middle as a nose guard. So looks like Taylor ran out a little bit of gas on that last play.
Taylor playing in his 5th AFL season. In Spokane, before that, the Pittsburgh Power. You remember him from college at Michigan. From the 14, it's 3rd down and 11. Kelly is the motion man. Kelly is going to make the catch and get the touchdown. So that silences the crowd here with 7.5 to play before halftime. Meyer with his 63rd touchdown pass of the season. It's back to a 2-possession ball game.
I think the key play in that drive was that 2nd and 15 and sneak the tight end out on that 10, 12-yard pass. That got San Jose out of a big hole, able to then convert a couple plays and get down and score.
Pertwee misses that one. The shot trailed 20-7 on the VPI Windows Custom Fit for Life scoreboard. We're back with more second quarter action after this. As we welcome you back here to Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena, your VPI Home Solutions scoring recap looks like this. 8 plays, 48 yards, 6 minutes and 8 seconds. As San Jose takes a 20-7 lead on Meyer's 3rd touchdown pass of the evening. Amos had a nice return to open up this ball game. Though it was all for naught, Mike Peterson as Spokane turned the ball over deep inside San Jose territory.
Well, if you're Spokane, you don't want San Jose hijacking this game from you early. Defense, special teams needs to come up big in this game.
Amos off the net. Bottled up at the 5-yard line. The Shock right now only have 30 yards more on offense than they do in penalties. 74 yards of total offense, 44 yards in penalties.
And Spokane, not of one of the cleaner teams from a penalty perspective, but not tonight.
Well, the Shock coming in 295 yards per contest. It hasn't been the offense that's really held them back so far this season. That's 4th in the AFL. Kaufman throws over the middle. Caught, and this is going to be for a touchdown. Oh my, Braylon Bell to the house. 44 yards, and the Shock answer with a big-time score. Braylon Bell was covered, but he had 2 defensive backs that converged on each other. And it looked like a Texas leaguer out there.
I thought he was potentially going to get blown up with the sandwich 1-2, but you're right. That was defenders tackling each other, not Bell.
Like toothpaste being squeezed out of a tube, he goes into the end zone. Spokane back on the scoreboard, 20-14 on a big-time play by Braylon Bell. Touchdown Shock. They're down by 6. There's Riverfront Park. Hoop Fest all around us. It's a good place to cool off. Might have to take a number by the time Sunday rolls around.
You say you're going to need a lot of that over the weekend.
Want to welcome ESPN Sports Center will be here Sunday as well. Hopefully some of the crew is enjoying this ball game here. Beat the Heat, get inside. Rowan to kick. Gray to return. Jumping return from the back of the end zone. Will just get to the 5-yard line. And another flag coming in. Remember, San Jose had a return called back on a flag. We'll see what the call is here.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 13.
Another nudge in the
half
back.
the distance to the goal. First down, San Jose.
It wasn't much, but it was enough. Look to the left side. Enough right there. Well, I guess a lot more than just a
well, it's a
just
different
a little.
guy this time.
That was
it was Dante Page-Moss. So it was a different guy, so you can't fault them for doing it the same play. It's just a different guy.
Well, what's costly, that's on the 1 yard line. So tell you, if you're Spokane, you're hoping for a 5-step drop and get the pressure to Meyer and get a safety out of this baby.
The Shock yet to get to the quarterback Meyer tonight. Quickly to Gray. Gray with all sorts of room. And a shoestring tackle by the linebacker McCullough. The chainsaw cut him down.
And I didn't catch who the middle DB was on that one. It's typically McMillan. Will look, and he just lost his footing coming in. Yes, that's who it was. So that was a backside tackle. I do like the tackling by these young athletic defensive backs. That was a real issue early in the year. A lot of missed tackles by Spokane's defensive backs.
Meyer evades 1 sack, and he gets it to Nelson. And that's good enough for a first down. 2 yards past the first down marker inside the Shock 20.
Classic Eric Meyer. The pocket collapsing around him looked like nothing, but yet he's able to do that John Elway reverse spin, go to the left side and find a wide open receiver. It's just impossible to defend against when you have that type of athleticism and canniness at quarterback.
From the Shock 17. Meyer with time, slings it inside the 5. It's caught by Nelson. Nelson to the 4. They're inside the red zone.
Nelson, an AFL veteran and former first-team All-AFL wide receiver, recent acquisition. You don't see Adrian Tennell playing tonight. But boy, he's sure filling the shoes of Adrian Tennell.
Tennell joining Eric Meyer in the offseason, deciding to leave Spokane for San Jose. Tennell out of the lineup tonight. First and goal from the Shock 4. Drop. There is a flag in the end zone.
And I think you're going to get a hold by the Spokane defensive back.
Holding defense number 23. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
That's on Jeff Richards.
Yeah, you'll see right here, far left side coming across, and you'll see just getting a little grabby and just reaching in. It's one thing to tag him, but when you start getting fists, the referee's going to look at the fist. When you start seeing fists and grabbing cloth, that's a hold. If you keep your hands open, you can oftentimes get away with it, even though you're guiding the receiver.
Reynolds on the handoff, rough, and ball comes loose. It'll get scooped up. It's a foot race. McMillan in for the touchdown. No flags. McMillan picks it up off the turf, and Spokane has tied this one up. The rookie in his first game last week had 2 interceptions. Now in his home debut, a scoop 6.
Classic team defense. A great surge from the left side. A big hit, and then headiness from McMillan. Just great team D. And we said Spokane's got to get a boost from defense and special teams. Don't rely on just the offense to score points tonight.
Kick is blocked. But after Spokane, still a loose ball, watch out. That's still a live football. But Spokane trailed by as many as 14, almost took its first lead. 20-20 with 1:58 to play. Pop, fumble, scoop, touchdown. Hey, Mike, how about the defense by Spokane here?
Well, there's the surge by Ruffin, and then Micah King, kaboom. And there goes the ball. And it was as much a hit with the body as it was that arm reaching in. You could see snaking the ball loose. A little crossover on Eric Meyer. I don't think Meyer practices open field tackling too often.
Yeah, I think Meyer is one of those things where you start wrestling with a bull and you start going, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Nope, I'll give you the touchdown.
Give you the touchdown. We're good. So Spokane has rallied to tie it up 20-20. What do you think here? Is it time to roll up the old onside kick, Mike?
Perhaps. And the ball way over there on the left hash, it's that's at least the type of look you'd have if you're thinking onside kick. And if so, I'm thinking probably more of the pop-up variety than the squib type if they do it.
Oh, here we go.
That was neither pop-up nor squib. We've got a penalty flag down on the play, which would imply Spokane offsides.
San Jose takes over first down.
Offside, kicking team, number 14, half the distance to the goal. First and goal, San Jose.
Now, before that turnover, San Jose was averaging 10 yards per offensive play. They'll have to get 4 yards here to get back in the end zone.
Well, I'm okay with the offside kick call, or onside kick. No issue with that, but let's just call it what it is. That was very poorly executed by Spokane's kicker.
Meyer otherwise has been in the zone here tonight against his old team. 15 of 17, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns. Bull rush, he had to get rid of the football. Just north of the goal line Bandits. Big shout out to the GLBs tonight, who of course have done their homework on the opposition, letting them know it tonight.
Gotta love those goal line Bandits. They are classic.
What do you think? Plus 3 points per game for home field with these guys?
At least
6. Give them 6.
I would give them 3 to 6 points.
Okay.
They'd give them at least a field goal.
Maybe even 9.
And when they really get going, oh boy, then it's just priceless watching them get in the other team's heads when they really get going. But
we have hit the 1 minute warning. 1 minute to go in the half. SaberCats and Shock tied up at 20-20. Second down and goal from the Shock 4. You can see Death Valley trying to provide that home field advantage. Shock have not had much luck with teams with a winning record in the AFL. 1-5 against such teams. 3-3 versus teams with losing records this season. Every once in a while, you've got to get an upset. Could be tonight. Meyer under center on second down and goal with 1 minute to play in the half. Plenty of time, throws, and caught for the touchdown. Nelson with the grab as the SaberCats retake the lead.
And just, again, too much time for Eric Meyer to execute that play down there in the red zone. That's just too much to ask your defensive backs to cover for that long. It takes a team, and you've got to have a push from the front 4. They didn't have it on that play.
Pertwee had one go off the bar on a PAT. We'll see how he does here. His 4th attempt. This one is in the slack net and good. That's now 27 points for San Jose, right on their average in their last 4 games. 27.5 points per contest in the first half.
And Meyer to Nelson has just been nails tonight.
He's the Eric Meyer we remember.
Yes, he is, and he's also the Ben Nelson we remember.
Yeah.
Nelson not looking rusty at all, having most of the season not even playing. And a good shot of the bearded Eric Meyer there, Sam.
Eric had all sorts of, some people kind of alter the hair. He would do stuff with his beard when he was here. He, decide to do something, shave it differently or have some kind of sign shaved in. He'd do the half beard one week.
Mustache another.
Yeah, he'd have the handlebar mustache. I was waiting for a Raleigh fingers at one point.
Probably 6-7 different looks over the course of a season.
Andy Olson always has the same look, doesn't he? I mean, that's his look if they're winning or losing.
It's kind of John Gruden-like, isn't it?
It is. Brooding.
Yes.
Nelson, by the way, 6 catches for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's put together a whale of a first half. We mentioned the 27.5 points per contest for San Jose in the first half. That's over the last 4 games. That's pretty good. Before that, in their first 9 games, 38 points in the first half of scoring average. And so their scoring is down over the last month. That includes, of course, a miserable showing a couple weeks ago against the LA Kids when they put up just 42 points. Here's the onside. Flags come down.
And I think Spokane's going to catch a break even if they lose this, because it looks like San Jose was offsides.
Amos had it.
Now that's a well-executed
Offside
little
on
squib
the kicking
kick.
team, number 7. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Spokane.
So Spokane now a golden opportunity to get back on the board.
San Jose with all 3 timeouts. So if you're Spokane, you're not going to play burn timeouts games and all that. You've got 4 plays. You're going to take your best 4 shots to get in the end zone and score a touchdown.
Now remember, Spokane on its opening possession, they brought in that red zone package. Arvell Nelson, who had just joined the team last week, fumbled the ball, but here it's Kaufman under center. Truesdale high motion man, 53 seconds on the clock. Kaufman to throw into the end zone and incomplete.
Yeah, I think Truesdale heard footsteps, because that was well thrown by Kaufman, and Truesdale, all 6'7", you'll see goes up strong, but then looked like he heard footsteps and pulled his arms back in early. Let's take a look at this. He just dropped it. Just flat dropped it.
You go right back to him. You go right back to that young man.
He's your target. What I'd like to see him do, though, is go thumb to thumb, not pinky to pinky on that type of catch.
Kaufman Amos at the goal line, short of the end zone. Clock stops with 44 seconds to play. Think about the dynamic between Andy Olson and the quarterbacks that he's had. Kaufman was the opening night starter, and now he's been reinserted into the starting lineup.
Now, are we going to see a quarterback keeper, Kaufman going low with an assist from your fullback?
That was darn near a touchdown for Amos.
Just if you're Kaufman, your quarterback keep, stay low.
He's going to throw. Ooh, Amos almost made the one-handed grab.
Passes incomplete.
And now it's decision time. Do you quarterback keep it? Do you run out of high motion, or do you pass the ball? You have all kinds of options. I guarantee you one thing you're not going to see, and that's a field goal.
Well, they're going to take some time and figure this out.
Timeout, Spokane, their first of the half. 30 seconds in lane.
The Shock using their first timeout.
Now,
You know, this is where Spokane has had some problems, Mike. You and I were at the game, where right down to the wire, and they couldn't figure out what they wanted to do, kind of caught in no man's land. What do you do here?
I like the quarterback keeper. I do, and that has been a mainstay on the 1 yard line and in the Spokane playbook. It has been virtually unstoppable, but in the past you've been talking Eric Meyer, who is a master of the quarterback keeper, but it's not that difficult if you get the ball quickly and drive and are low, maintaining your balance. You get a nice assist from your fullback. It's darn near automatic, because defensively you cannot shadow gaps. You've got to play straight up, and so you have an automatic gap either side of the ball of the center.
Kaufman under center. There's the 3 wide receivers line up all alongside each other. It'll be Bell in motion. Kaufman looking, throwing, and off the bar and intercepted. That's not how they drew it up.
No, not at all.
For what it's worth, it's Clevin Thomas with the interception.
4 shots from the 5 yard line. This is twice tonight. Spokane can just not get in the end zone when they have great position in the red zone. Both times first and goal, roughly the 5 yard line. Twice, once on the fumble and a 4 downs and you're out. Well, that'll go down as an interception. Costly.
Second turnover for the Shock offense here.
Yes.
They fumbled on the opening sequence, and now near the end of the first half.
And both red zone turnovers.
Nelson puts the ball over the dasher board to stop the clock. 29 seconds remain. SaberCats have all 3 of their timeouts.
Yes, and SaberCats, because they deferred the toss and kicked to Spokane, will get the ball to open the second half.
Boy, you talk about a team that had all the momentum in the world, Mike, and now San Jose is taking it right back. Another completion.
Yeah,
As Nelson stops the clock. Now, Mike, we had talked about this in previous broadcasts when Eric Meyer was here. We loved the way he threw the football, but we both felt, if you'd agree with me, that really the dynamic he brings that many quarterbacks don't bring is his ability to move around the pocket, get throws, but then also once you're in the 2-3 yard line, he's your goal line guy. He's a guy that you get your fullback and drive him right through into the end zone.
He can do that. He can scramble left, scramble right, keep a play alive with his feet. Always a threat to run.
There's that elusiveness right there. It's Gray, blanketed well by McMillan, and there's a flag. Pass interference on the DB, McMillan.
And McMillan, his mistake, and you see this with some of the young guys who just aren't quite polished at this, he leads with his hands instead of getting there first with his feet. And
2 fouls occurred on the play. Holding offense, number 54. Defensive pass interference, number 6. Those penalties offset. Replay first down.
So offsetting penalties, but we're going to focus on the pass interference here.
Now what, this you need to close first with your feet, not with your hands. And just get your hand. It looks pretty touchy there, but again, don't reach out and start feeling for the receiver. It looks like a ticky-tack call from that angle.
But you could see where the official was coming with that.
And the official had the inside look, not the outside look.
Meyer throws on first down, caught by Gray. Play still alive. He's going to take it in for the touchdown. Big play. Reggie Gray strikes again with 12 seconds on the clock. 32 yards for the touchdown.
And if San Jose is able to hold Spokane without a score with 12 seconds to go, San Jose comes out in the second half. They open with a touchdown. That would be 3 unanswered touchdowns. So far, it's 2 because of that big stop in the red zone.
The officials, I believe, are going to want to take a look and see if Gray was on the dasher board. Was he touched when he was on the dasher board? In which case, that would nullify that touchdown.
Yep, and you see Andy Olson.
The ruling on the field
right
is that
there
the
through
receiver
the
went into the wall
flag.
untouched and then scored a touchdown. Spokane is challenging that ruling. It is under further review.
So the replays we're going to show you is exactly what the replay officials will see as well. There's Richards pleading his case. Really all it amounts to is what's going to be. Now he's probably talking about that pass interference call.
Now what I do like, the body language, you don't know what they're saying, but you can tell the body language in that exchange, he's not trying to justify himself or defend himself. It actually looks like he's trying to learn what are you looking at and what's going on. But yeah, we don't have the audio. Okay, here's the look. You can clearly see the catch. Hits the dasher board. Now if he's touched against the dasher board, we have a dead play. Can't tell from that angle. You can see him reaching out.
I don't think he got him.
That's not
I think
conclusive.
McMillan missed him.
And at that point, he's already away from the dasher board. So
there's going to be multiple angles here.
Okay, this is going to be the look. As he's against the dasher board, if he's touched, it is a dead ball. All you have to do is touch him against the dasher board. He's still against the dasher board. He's touched, and the left arm
His left hand
this
was
is coming
still on
back.
there. The left arm touched him by McMillan.
Great camera work, gentlemen.
In which case, that would be at the 17-yard line. Let's look again when you freeze it. So there he's along the dasher board on that cushion, but right here.
With the left arm out, still against the dasher board.
Now it's a little bit tough. McMillan's blocking out that left arm, a little bit of Gray, but clearly Gray's hand was still touching the dasher board.
And you can piece both angles together. The far end zone and the top end zone, and you can piece those together as well. I guarantee you what they're looking at now, I would virtually guarantee you, it's now yard line and time on the clock, because I'm certain this thing's coming back.
This replay brought to you by CSI Mike Peterson as he pieces the evidence together.
Well, they're giving me great forensic visual evidence to look at, huh?
say thank you to our friends and sponsors, All Sport.
And we're all anxiously awaiting the verdict.
Now, sometimes they'll take the extra time to rule exactly where the ball will be spotted, but it will be reversed. They're also checking how much time should be left on the clock.
Yeah, so that's why it's taken so
Good
long.
Good challenge by Olsen.
Great challenge.
After further review, receiver did catch the ball and went into contact with the wall. Before he had left separation with the wall, there was a defender who grabbed his shoulder pad while his arm was still on the wall.
But sometimes when these officials explain replays in the Arena Football League, it sounds like an accountant explaining a tax return.
17 seconds. 17 seconds.
But I'll tell you, a very, very thorough explanation, and just what the video evidence showed us as well, Sam.
CSI Spokane. So the touchdown taken off the scoreboard. We're on the 17 now. Call that a 15-yard gain instead. Meyer out of the pocket. Pursued by Summers, threw away the football. Derek Summers, all-arena player for the Jacksonville Sharks, came over to Spokane in 2014, signing a multi-year contract. And he's been a big part of this defense.
San Jose with 3 timeouts left, depending on the length of the play, should be able to run 3 plays. Minimum 2, even if Meyer goes into scramble mode. But if they do quick hitters, they'll have 3 shots.
10 seconds on the clock. Gray in motion. Meyer, flag on the play, caught by Gray, down to the 5, and the Shocker calling for a hold.
And if this goes against San Jose, downs are of no consequence. You want yards.
Holding, offense, number 54. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Time and time again, Meyer has evaded the rush, but sometimes you need a little help on a hold.
And there you can see the hold right there on number 36. Very obvious.
That's Vasquez, who's already been called twice on defense and now on offense as well.
Now with that 2 offside rule on defense, he can still play special teams and offense, but not on defense, at least for the remainder of the first half.
Welcome to Death Valley. Crowd on its feet. Meyer scrambling, throwing into the end zone and into the stands. The Shock defense holds, and it's a 7-point game at the half. 27-20. Spokane briefly tied it up, but the SaberCats take a 7-point lead into the locker room. And with that, we send you to break. Our halftime show is straight ahead. Sam Adams, Mike Peterson here as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. And the Shock had a 20-20 ball game. It very well could have been a 2-touchdown deficit, though, going into halftime. Instead, 7-point differential as we begin the third.
Eric Meyer continues to just be his marvelous self. We're talking about efficiency. He's on his halfway there to 400-yard passing game. 19-24. 209 yards and 4 touchdowns, no picks.
Pretty much equals what he had last week for the ball game. He had 2 touchdowns and just over 200 yards passing in a blowout win against Las Vegas.
And the distribution, Ben Nelson, he's been targeted often, 9 catches, 89 yards, and then big play Reggie Gray, 8 catches for 93 yards. So 17 of those 19 completions coming to Nelson and Gray.
And he's the return man for this kickoff, which is brought to you by your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores. Taylor Rowan will kick.
Yeah, Gray has been contained, though. Gray only 2 returns, 18 yards, far below his average, and that's a very short kick.
From the half-yard line out to the 10, and Mike, I think you jinxed the Shock. Out to the 20-yard line, no flags on that return. 29 yards for Gray.
Well, your kicker's going to jinx your kick coverage team if you kick the ball that short to someone like Reggie Gray. My goodness.
San Jose, no flags on that return. Overall, they've been flagged 11 times at the SaberCats. That includes 1 declined and 1 offsetting.
Absolutely critical if you're a kicker. You strike that net every time. If you're short, bad things usually happen to the kick coverage team.
Here's Gray with a catch at the 15 along the dasher board, covered by McMillan. Boy, Meyer will just pick you apart.
It's so quick with the reads. Great release.
I think Meyer knows who he's going to throw to before the ball is even snapped.
His pre-reads are outstanding. That's the key. The pre-read and then your initial key, and you release the ball right there.
Reynolds in step and in for the touchdown. So it took all of 2 plays, but San Jose opens up now a 2-touchdown lead as we start the 3rd quarter.
That was just too easy.
Darius Reynolds with the touchdown catch. So Meyer has now thrown 5 touchdowns, 2 to Gray, 2 to Nelson.
Check that, 1 to Nelson.
1 to Nelson, excuse me.
1 to Kelly, and now 1 to Reynolds.
Yeah, so Reynolds now
great distribution.
A 4th different receiver with a receiving touchdown.
A typical Eric Meyer night.
PAT is good. SaberCats up by 14 on the VPI Windows custom Fit for Life scoreboard. Close by. Some great food to be had here. Riverfront Park.
Is that an elephant ear?
It is.
That's a big elephant ear.
Is there any other kind?
Then you throw, yes. I guess that's why they call them elephant ears, not rabbit ears.
I don't think PETA would appreciate having rabbit ears. That kick whistle dead. We got what, Pig Out in the Park later on in the summer.
Yeah, that's a Labor Day weekend one.
Right.
Pig Out in the
But
Park.
right now, I mean, food vendor's going to be out in full force.
It's going to be sweated out in downtown Spokane this weekend.
It is. So you have Pig Out later. Right now, it's sweated out.
Yeah. So lose the weight so you can put it all back on. Lose the weight just before 4th of July so you can put it all back on. Pig Out in the Park Labor Day weekend.
I'm getting hungry. These nachos are not going to hold me over. Pertwee to kick off here. Amos off a bar ball. This is dangerous. Loose ball, and San Jose is going to recover at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like David Highland, the cornerback for San Jose, got the ball, and that Nelson for Spokane is shaken up on this play, Sam.
Down at the 5-yard line is Arvell Nelson. He's back on his feet. Spokane down by 14, Mike, and that's not an onside kick. That's a bar ball that goes to the 5-yard line. San Jose takes over from the 6-yard line here on offense.
I'd say 4 out of 5 times, 70-80% of the time, you hit the bar, kicking team's going to get the ball. Odds are in your favor.
Meyer back to work. Flag, and play is whistled dead. It'll be a false start against the offense.
False start, offense, number 1. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's on Reggie Gray as the flags are flying for San Jose.
All right, nice, keep it going. Take it up right here. The more noise you make, the tougher it is to call that play.
San Jose coming in at 12-1. They got all but one of the first place votes in the media poll. Did you vote for him?
I have voted for San Jose. It has dang near been wire to wire. The dominant team this year.
Meyer just dancing around. He's going to sling that away. That is what he is so good at. When Meyer doesn't like what he sees, he's still going to play it out a little bit. He knows he's going to step back just enough to keep all the defenders in front of him, and then he'll sling it away. There's your poll. This is the I believe San Jose actually got 15 first place votes, but regardless, they're number 1. Arizona number 2. You see Spokane all the way down at number 9.
And that's fairly in line with how I voted this week. I did have Spokane in front of Las Vegas. I still believe Spokane is a better team than Vegas.
Meyer into the end zone, caught by Gray. Did he get his feet in bounds? He did.
You need to get both feet down and not touch the white line. That's good job by the officials conferring with each other. But you have to have both feet in, and if that either foot touches that white line, you are out of bounds.
And Mike, we all know here in Spokane, that is mascot territory. We saw Shocks the Fox get taken out a few weeks ago. It actually made the highlight reels or low light reels on ESPN.com. And of course, the hamster.
A year ago. Big fall. In fact, I think Hamster had to go on injured reserve after that high-low hit.
Now this play is being challenged right now by San Jose.
So again, you have to get 2 feet down. Neither foot can hit that white line in the back end of the back corner of that end zone.
It is a challengeable play.
The ruling on the field is that the receiver did not possess the ball and get in bounds. San Jose is challenging that he was in bounds. That plays under further review.
Again, what you see on your TV screen is what our officials will look at as well.
And we're getting a peek at it here inside on the big screen, and can't tell from that angle. But again, that's a different angle. That's the in-house cameras, not the SWX camera crews.
Everybody's looking up.
Well, inconclusive on the big screen here in the Spokane Arena from that particular angle.
So we're waiting for the cue now from the replay official, Carl Paganelli. And once he cues us up, here we go.
Well, you're getting the same look as us at the same time. We have, there's catch.
If he was able to keep that left foot down as he was making the catch, then it's a touchdown.
That's the key.
I think he picked up the left foot before he had the ball.
I agree. At first glance, that's what appeared. Now, there's hands. Can you see?
There's one, and did not drag it.
It's inconclusive from that angle because we didn't see the feet all the way through the catch. I think we're inconclusive from the 2 camera angles we're looking at here, Sam.
Yeah. I think this angle's the best one you've got. Now look at the left foot. That's the question.
Hands, foot, left foot.
From that angle, I say he might have gotten it. Might have is the key word.
Yeah, okay. Again, you've got to fully secure the ball.
Which is
That's not caught yet. You've got to fully cradle the ball.
Right there, he's got it. Oof, that is tough.
If that right toe has not hit the line, I tell you, that is freeze frame moments. I think this could easily be overturned.
Yeah. You think this would be a touchdown?
I think this could easily be overturned. Yeah, because what I'm looking for, not only when he catches the ball, he's catching the ball and his elbows are now coming down towards his body, which lets you know you can only do that if you've secured the catch. At which point in time, once the elbows have starting to come down, you can see right there, you piece the 2 camera angles together, it's a clear, clean catch. And I believe the first explanation was he was perhaps bobbling. He did not bobble that. So I believe we're going to have a touchdown, but we'll see.
The receiver possessed the ball and did get 1 foot in bounds. The call is overturned. Touchdown.
Okay, and he is saying 1 foot. Okay, well, I stand corrected.
San Jose won the challenge. They're not charged a timeout.
Now,
well, you said they would overturn, Mike. You said twice they would overturn. So,
no, I was looking at it with 2 feet in. He clearly got 1 foot in,
but I mean,
in
the
possession.
bottom line was you were actually right.
Yeah.
So take it, okay?
I will take that.
What had been a 20-point ball game has now turned into a 20 and perhaps 21-point lead now for San Jose. As the SaberCats have silenced this crowd, they are on a 21-0 run. 10:50 to play in the third. San Jose leads 41-20. All right, lots going on this weekend in the Inland Empire. SWX brings you one of the biggest parts of it. It's the Ironman Coeur d'Alene. On Sunday morning, starting at 6 a.m., SWX has you covered just as the races begin. At 7 a.m., our coverage continues on both KHQ and SWX with more morning highlights. Then stay tuned throughout the day on SWX for Ironman updates on every hour. And at 2 p.m., we have the live finish line coverage from the Ironman. Again, it's Ironman Coeur d'Alene Sunday morning starting at 6 a.m. live right here on SWX, your home for Ironman Coeur d'Alene.
And Sam, the weather throwing a curveball at the programming schedule, because that 6 a.m. start actually has now got moved up to 5:30 because of the weather. So we'll cover that about a half hour in.
This is Anthony Amos on the kickoff return from up to the 5-yard line. That's where the shot will take over. In fact, Ironman and Coeur d'Alene announcing they have extended their partnership, but with the caveat that they will actually move the Ironman now to August because they want the water temperatures warmer. That was one of the things keeping many of the Ironman competitors out of the field. They'll run kind of a half Ironman still in July or June, late June, early July, but now they will have the full Ironman in August. First play from scrimmage here for the shot. It's a completion to Jabin Sambrano. 14 yards on that completion. The big story is Eric Meyer, who has already thrown for 6 touchdowns in this one. 3 of those going to one Reggie Gray.
No interceptions and an incredibly high completion percentage.
Kaufman, meanwhile, throwing to Truesdale.
The pass is complete for number 81, Nick Truesdale.
And tackled by Fontenette. Boy, Ken Fontenette just did not make a mistake on defense.
No, this guy, it's why he is the best in the business right now in the AFL as a defensive back. I like Kaufman's throw on that, though. He threw to the outside and back towards the line of scrimmage away from Fontenette, and Truesdale made a nice adjustment on the throw.
Amos is your motion man. The throw is to Amos, who cuts back inside to the 15, to the 10. Almost had a touchdown. He will get the first down, though. Gain of 12.
Let's see what Spokane can do in the red zone this time. It's been a real wild card for Spokane tonight when they visited the red zone.
Certainly has. Spokane at the 7 inside the KFC red zone. The Shock just 1 for 3 from inside the 10 thus far tonight. The throw to Amos. He's going to, he had it and lost it. Had a hand on it. Instead, it goes over the dasher board and into the dream zone.
And Amos was open early, and Kaufman didn't pick him up until Amos was later in the route near the back of the end zone. But if Kaufman saw him near the front end of the end zone, he was wide open. Nice defensive play, because it was a catch, and you just see a good swat away by their number 22, Day.
Fred Obi with a pass breakup.
Or I should say Obi. Thank you, Sam.
2nd and goal from the 7. He's going to be sacked. Kaufman sacked for a 2nd time tonight. The only question is going to be, who do you give it to? And I think it's pretty clear you're going to give that one to Jason Stewart, the big old defensive lineman who bull rushed to get through the line.
And that's why the play before the line got to Kaufman, and he came up a little shaken up, and Kaufman's going down. He's holding that right shoulder.
Boy, oh boy, that's a tough break for Spokane. Remember, Warren Smith had been benched, so it's going to be Arvell Nelson, who's been more of a kind of a goal line red zone package quarterback, and he will come in relief of the injured Carson Kaufman. Will take the injury timeout. Shock are driving, but now without their starting QB here with 7.5 to play in the third. Here's a look at the play that sent Carson Kaufman to the bench.
And look at the right shoulder. His right shoulder hits the ground, and then there's that extra weight that comes on. We're not going to speculate, but when Kaufman did, he went to his feet and then tapped in the area of his right shoulder, right collarbone, and then went to the ground. So we'll let the trainers sort that out. We hope he's okay.
In comes Arvell Nelson. Scrambles out of the pocket, throws on the run. Incomplete. Truesdale had it in his mitts. It was broken up again by Obi.
Obi, 2 huge red zone breakups. If he doesn't break them up, that's twice Spokane had 6 points.
Fourth down and goal from the 17. And a backup quarterback in. So Arvell Nelson, 6'5", from Cleveland, Ohio, rushed for a touchdown in his season debut last week.
And if you're under duress, you buy yourself time and fly it off.
Short arm that one to Truesdale and incomplete. Spokane now 3 of 9 in the red zone. Their last 2 games against these SaberCats, and San Jose gets the ball back on a turnover on downs.
Now, I don't like the decision making on that by Nelson, because even if Truesdale made the catch, he's still too far out. He's going to have to break tackles and lean forward, most likely, especially where that ball was thrown. He's just going to get tackled, and it's still going to be short anyway. He had to get in the end zone.
So Spokane in a 21-point hole, and now San Jose looking to stomp on them while they're down. From their own 17, Myers throw, caught. Darius Reynolds. Ooh, textbook tackle there by the rookie DB. So covered by Jeff Richardson, who drives him right in the turf. Short of the first down.
Well, with all this turnover at defensive back, I got to tell you, I am very impressed with the cover skills, the quickness, and equally important, the open field tackling ability of this new set of defensive backs.
And it's unbelievable that Spokane has yet to sack Eric Meyer tonight. He's been sacked in 10 straight games. Quick release, caught by Gray to the 20-yard line. Another fresh set of downs now for the SaberCats, who come in at 12-1, best record in the Pacific and all of arena football. Meyer with 6 touchdown passes tonight. That brings his season total to 67 against just 6 interceptions. By comparison, Kaufman and Warren Smith came into this contest 57 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. That's a very solid number, but when you compare it, that's dwarfed by the numbers that Meyer has put up.
Yeah, it sure is. Spokane getting pressure on Meyer, but Meyer smartly getting rid of the ball, not taking a negative yardage loss, and living for another play. That easily could have been an 8-yard loss, but he's a wily veteran, throws the ball away. 2nd and 10 sure looks a lot better than 2nd and 18.
Another completion for Meyer, who is now 26 of 31. 5 incompletions. 3 of those incomplete passes, Mike, have actually gone into the stands.
And there's Meyer going through progressions. He looked at Reggie Gray on the deep corner pattern. He was not open. Checked off to Darren Thomas, who was on the crossing route. Then checked off to Big Ben Nelson, who's had a heck of a game out there in the right flat. So time to go through 3 progressions and get a big chunk of yardage.
Big 3rd down and 5 here. Nelson in motion. Meyer out of the pocket. He's going to run. He's going to pick up the first down. He's going to get the touchdown. Eric Meyer, 15-yard touchdown run, and the route is on for the SaberCats.
Can you say 4 unanswered touchdowns?
Wouldn't like to.
But have to.
Yeah. Tell you what, San Jose has found another gear here in Spokane. They beat the Shock their last time. I mean, you talk about convincing wins, 83-28, 55-26, and now, pending the PAT, 27-28 point differential here. Call it 28 on the point after. 2:58 to play in the third. San Jose is running roughshod here in Spokane on the VPI Windows Custom Fit for Life scoreboard. 48-20 on the Meyer touchdown run. SaberCats now 4 of 4 on third downs, including that dash by Eric Meyer. 48-20. SaberCats rolling right along here against the Shock. This is a big game for Spokane. 4-8 on the season. Still in playoff position. There's another bar ball. Amos picks this one up. Backtracks into the end zone. And out to the 5. Then to the 10. And Amos, I thought for a moment, had crossed the goal line, got back into the end zone, so he kind of got away with one there.
I agree, because if indeed he got all the way across the goal line and retracted and got tackled, he just retracted into a safety. But end up with a pretty nifty return.
San Jose, meanwhile, on a roll, has outscored the Spokane offense now 34-0 as of late. Spokane's last touchdown, of course, coming off that fumble recovery. So Arvell Nelson in at quarterback for the injured Carson Kaufman. His status undetermined at this point. Here's Truesdale, who's so dangerous after he gets the ball in his clutches. Does some barking at the San Jose secondary, as that will move the chains. So Nelson, who had a rushing touchdown last week with that pass, now his first complete pass of this 2015 season. Came over from Ohio, where he was working in a salt mine. And here he is. Sometimes it feels like you're in the mines when you're digging in a hole like this.
Oh, it's a, yeah, very well said. Spokane, well, got in the early hole, 14-0 in the first quarter, got shut out. 20-point rally in the third quarter, but since then it has been, San Jose has just owned this third quarter.
And with that tackle for loss, the Shock now negative 33 in rushing yardage. Minus 33. Nelson out of the pocket, tripped up again. They're moving backwards to their own 20.
And that's rustiness. Sombrano was wide open in high motion on a slant right in front of Nelson, and he just simply didn't see him. It's almost like Nelson waited until he was completely through his cut and snapped his head around. It's like, no, throw the ball to that open window, throw your receiver open, and you got to trust your receiver.
Nelson lost one up, and it's going to be intercepted. Nowhere even close to Truesdale. We'll get a return now out of the end zone from Obi. Obi to the 10, 15, 20, midfield 25, 20, before he's finally brought down. I don't know where Nelson was thinking he was going with that one, but it almost felt like a punt return for Fred Obi in the end zone. Plain and simple, he looked lost.
He was. Truesdale's running the post. Nelson read the corner route. And boy, oh boy, when you're 10 yards away from each other on the page book, and watch Amos just get lit up right here. Watch this. It's like, oh, boom. Knee to the helmet. That was inadvertent. And Spokane is going to be shut out again here in the third quarter. 4 shutout quarters in 2.5 games, or 2 3/4 games against San Jose.
Anyway you add it up, it has been all San Jose. At the end of 3, the SaberCats leading the Shock 48-20. They'll have the ball when we come back for the fourth. News does not look to be good on Carson Kaufman. One can only speculate, but when you see that image, you know it's probably not good. He is out of the ball game. Arvell Nelson is in for all we can speculate, but right now it does not look good. Eric Meyer has looked very good here tonight. Throw into the stands is incomplete as they play a little pinball to get that souvenir arena football. San Jose, Mike Peterson, averaging field position to start a drive in their last 6 possessions, the Shock 22-yard line.
That's tall order for your defense, and Spokane's defense has been criticized for giving up a lot of points. Got to tell you, when your offense can't score and special teams is hand in defense, this kind of field position, you're going to get scored on, and in a hurry.
Meyer, the deep drop. They'll run the screen. Uh-oh, look out. Touchdown. Rich Ranglin, 315-pound offensive lineman, rumbling into the end zone.
And what's that, the 5th different receiver to score a touchdown receiving tonight?
On 7 touchdown passes. Spreading the wealth, Eric Meyer up to his old antics. Vintage Meyer, remember him from the 2013 season when he was named the AFL MVP when he was the quarterback here for the Shock.
And with a very quality backup, Nathan Stanley on the bench. Wouldn't surprise me that that's the last we see of Eric Meyer tonight.
Remember, he also has a rushing touchdown. We'll take the timeout. 13.5 minutes to play in this ball game. And on the VPI Windows Custom Fit for Life scoreboard, 55-20 San Jose.
And I think we got 6 that night, Sam. That Dream Zone, great place to watch a football game. Look at those nice sofa seats. You're right there. You can talk to the refs, talk to the players. Got the bar stools in the back. Tell you what, that is just a fantastic experience in those Dream Suites right there. Aptly called the Dream Zone.
This game's starting to turn into a nightmare right now for Spokane, unfortunately. Nelson throws, Truesdale drops it. Pretty much sums up the night right there. This is an offense that right now is going to be out of sync, to put it lightly.
Well, with Nelson coming in, not even having one completed pass, tall order to come in these circumstances and try to blow off the rust in a hurry against the best defense in the league. And they are pinning their ears back and coming at them.
Throw again to Truesdale. It was high. He gets it. Can't name many wide receivers in arena football that makes that catch and is still able to run after making that catch.
Yeah, well, at 6'7", most of those receivers, that ball is going to be overthrown.
On the previous 11 plays, the Shock had actually netted -5 yards before that completion. So finally a step forward brings up 3rd down and 3. And a flag comes in at the 10-yard line.
Wheels have been wobbling for Spokane. They might be starting to come off. And this appears it's going to be another Spokane penalty.
Illegal formation offense. Too many men in the backfield. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Just a administrative incorrect lineup. Of course, take the result of play, which is a negative yardage play, and now you're looking at a must-make 4th down just to keep the drive alive.
Let's see if Arvell runs the ball here on 4th down and 4. Quick drop. He's going to throw. It's caught by Truesdale. They'll pick up the 1st down.
I think that was Highland made a big-time break on the ball. That was almost intercepted. Nelson does have a strong arm, because if you have a medium or soft throw in there, that one potentially could get picked. He strong-armed it in there.
Just over 11 minutes to play in this ball game. As Arvell scrambles now out of the pocket. Little stiff arm up to midfield. We'll get a gain of 7 out of that into San Jose territory. Now, interesting, Arvell talking to him a couple weeks ago as he had just arrived in Spokane a couple of days prior to that. He said when he left Cleveland, he got the phone call. He was let go or he decided to leave a job kind of somewhere in between there when he's working in a salt mine there in Ohio. He's a huge, and I mean huge, Cleveland Cavaliers fan. Amos the catch, he dropped it off the turf.
The question
now, was that
is,
a backwards pass? If so,
and that's what it's ruled. So that's actually a run. Yeah. So that's considered a pitch, a fumble, and about a 5-yard rushing play.
So he's a big Cavaliers fan. Of course, Cleveland hasn't won a professional championship of any kind since I believe it was 1964 with the Browns in the NFL. As we look, is it forward? Is it backwards? That is
clearly
a backwards pass. Credit Amos for staying with it. A lot of receivers would just let it drop and figure it was just an incomplete pass. This one falls incomplete, intended for Amos. So Arvell leaves Cleveland to come over to Spokane, Mike, watching the NBA Finals. Of course, he's thinking Cavaliers, maybe. The series at that point was 2-1. Cleveland was up.
And it was looking very good for Cleveland.
He figured it was in the bag. Cleveland didn't win another game after that.
Nope, Golden State got hot. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and company.
What Andre Iguodala.
Oh, my goodness, did he. And he's a sub.
Finals MVP. 2nd and 10. I'll tell you, the thing is, Mike, right now, and this is going to be painful for this team right now because you're down to now effectively a third-string quarterback. Remember, they had Arvell here. They were thinking, okay, he's going to be our red zone package kind of guy. Maybe eventually we could throw him into the mix, but they wanted Warren Smith to kind of take a step back, see things from the sidelines a little bit, and kind of take a breather. I believe, and I think they believe that he'll be the quarterback of the future. But right now, they don't have a starting quarterback on the field. Arvell is a competitor. There's no question about it. But he's been rusty. I mean, we're talking about like a year away from the game effectively. So he's coming back. The one thing Spokane has going for it, if you go up and down this roster, Mike Peterson, they get guys on competitiveness and on character. Nobody on this team is going to be giving up.
No, they're not. And Spokane they're still battling. It's just the execution is what's missing now.
A little bit out of reach of Braylon Bell. And a turnover on downs. San Jose has the ball when we come back. You're watching the AFL and the Shock on SWX. The Shock trying to punch through right now. They've been held to 20 points. Coming into this season, we're including Arena 2, AF2 in their history. They had been held to less than 30 points just 4 times. San Jose has already done that to the Shock twice this year, and they're on the verge of doing it for a 3rd time this year. Gray on the catch from Nathan Stanley, who's the new quarterback now in place of Eric Meyer. So Meyer's day is done after a heck of a performance, and Stanley is one heck of a backup.
Stanley would be I believe Stanley easily would be starting on half of the teams in the AFL right now. He's that good. And there's your backup.
Would he be a starting quarterback for the Shock?
I think right now Spokane would really be happy with Stanley. And again, we're not knocking Kaufman or Smith or Nelson. Stanley is that good. Stanley's an upper-tier quarterback, just happens to be a backup behind Eric Meyer.
Gray wrapped up quickly by McMillan. You look at the turnover on this roster right now. Some of it has been due to injury. Some of it has been to substandard play. But wide receiver is one of those areas for the Shock where they have really been hurt. And it started with Mike Washington with that season-ending Achilles injury.
Well, you look at your passing game. It's been devastating all season long for Spokane because you look at the injuries of the receiving core, but it's been musical chairs at quarterback. Spokane has just not been able to get continuity in that passing game.
False start as this play is whistled in. It'll be against San Jose.
False start, offense, 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And the AFL is built around prowess in the passing game. It's just been every week, seems like just an uphill climb for this Spokane office. It's just been hit and miss.
There's Eric Meyer always working. Stanley coming into this ball game, 17 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. And he's been learning from the best in Eric Meyer. Incomplete. Coverage by Ricardo Kemp.
Catchable ball. Nelson just didn't corral it.
Mike, we had mentioned that San Jose has held Spokane below 30 points 2 times already this season. If you actually go back to the playoff game that knocked Spokane out of the postseason last year, they were held below 30 in that game as well. So this could be 4 times in a row that the SaberCats hold the Shock below 30. Gray wide open for the touchdown. His 4th, coming on Stanley's first of the night, 17 yards, 61-20 San Jose.
And keep in mind, with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, we had a tie game at 20-20. Spokane has now been outscored 41-0.
That's not a run. That's a bloodbath.
That is a steamrolling.
The numbers on Gray now, 14 catches, 149 yards, and 4 scores. Spokane had a tie ball game what feels like 7 years ago. 62-20 on the VPI Windows Custom Fit for Life scoreboard. At 10:30 from our Fastener Sports Studio with John Collette. He'll have the latest on SWX tonight. Highlights from this ball game. Spokane Indians going on the road. Seattle Mariners beginning a road trip in Anaheim against the LA Angels. All of that tonight at 10:30. Kickoff through the slack net, no return from Amos.
Another souvenir football in the dream zone.
Our friends at CenturyLink, nice job. Nice catch.
If you look the last few games now, Mike, Spokane has played with San Jose, but it always hits that one tipping point, and then the game just gets away from them.
Well, let's look at the last 3 games. The 3 games this season, 21-14. And then San Jose goes on a 35-12 run. Another 21-14. Final score 62-14. Or 62-14 run. San Jose scored 83 points in that one. And then here it's 20-20. San Jose 42-point run.
Once again, we would like to thank our game night sponsors.
Got to do the math on this, but that's 26 points scored to San Jose's, what's that? That's 134-26.
Bobbled and caught up to the 20-yard line by Jabin Zambrano from Temecula, California. Comes into the contest, 15 catches, 204 yards, 3 TDs. You know, we talk about Mike Washington out with that season-ending injury. Amos has stepped up. Truesdale is starting to find another level. And then Jabin Zambrano, one of the young guys who becomes with college experience from Montana, not too far away. There's a catch by Truesdale. Truesdale still alive with that football.
Nick Truesdale on the catch.
And then Christian Wise was on the field. The last we heard, he was being fitted for crutches. I mean, it's just every bad break you can think of for Spokane. They've gotten it.
And we have no idea. We're not going to speculate on the status of Carson Kaufman, who numbers-wise has been Spokane's most effective quarterback.
And here's Zambrano inside the 10. Another first down. Had a chance to talk to Jabin a couple weeks ago as well, and I asked for his impression of the roster. And he felt like, hey, this is a team that, you know, it's a tight-knit group. There's a lot of talent here. And he felt that, you know, spirits are still very high on this team. And luckily for Spokane, even though they are 4-8 on the season, with the win last week in Portland, they're actually in great playoff position. Nelson scrambling. Ball goes into the stands as he was rolling out of the pocket.
And the question is that going to be ruled a fumble over the dasher board or an incomplete pass? And I think they're going to rule that a fumble.
Which is actually a good break for Spokane because, well, was he? No, that would be actually behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they are ruling that a fumble. So the ball's back to the 10-yard line.
So a loss of 3 on that play.
But Spokane, amazingly, still, for the most part, controls their own destiny. Now, Las Vegas and Portland play this weekend. So one of them's going to come away with a loss. If Portland beats Las Vegas, Spokane, Portland, Las Vegas will all have identical records.
Pump throws now along the dasher board. And it's an incomplete pass. And Mike, you mentioned Portland and Las Vegas. Spokane still has one more game against each of those teams. It'll be against Portland July 25th, and then Las Vegas to end the regular season. That might ultimately decide the postseason for the Shock on August 8th. All right, folks, that's the end of it feels like it, right? All right, we've hit the 1-minute warning, 62-20. We're back with more after this. Folks, you're looking at tonight's Player of the Game, presented by Triple Play Family Fun Park, where fun is always in season. Former Shock AFL MVP even, Eric Meyer, 27 of 34, 288 yards, 7 touchdown passes, 2 rushes for 23 yards, and another score. He is your Triple Play Family Fun Park Player of the Game. He did it all here tonight, Mike.
Well, again, seven TD passes and then cap it off with that athleticism and a scrambling TD run. Tip of the cap to Eric Meyer.
Nelson, the pass, and it's caught by Truesdale. And he is absolutely just bullying his way around the end zone to get to those balls.
That was a big-time clear out with his left arm. And I think that is what I call a 42-point lead, no call.
Yeah. So Truesdale, building off that 5-touchdown performance Sunday against Portland, now with his 2nd touchdown reception here tonight. He's got 98 yards receiving. He had 7 for 124 and 5 touchdowns in Portland, and now 12 for 98 and 2 here tonight. He is turning into the go-to guy.
Clearly is.
I mean, if he can keep on getting away with these pass interference calls.
That's true. That
I mean,
definitely it was offensive PI, but hey, if no flag goes down, it's not a penalty. The Gophers having some easy work tonight. The Gopher always does push-ups based on number of points scored. So
now, Mike, I hate to correct you, but you called him a chipmunk last year. This year, you're calling him a gopher.
It's actually the hamster.
He's a hamster.
He's a hamster.
Let's get this. There's no mammal confusion here. He knows which mammal he identifies with.
I have my rodents confused.
Yeah. That's
He's a
definitely
cute guy. He's a hamster. He's cute.
We'll leave it at that.
So, you look at the Shock roster, and it's not time to pull the plug on the season and look ahead, because they are still in playoff position. Things just stack up that way in the National Conference. But you look at a guy like Nick Truesdale, if he can be a number 2 on your roster, you are fantastic. Number 3, you're going to win those matchups. And as a number 1 right now, he's playing very well. He's still got some things to figure out, obviously. There's another slack net ball. But here's a guy where you start looking going, here's a guy that we can throw to for years to come. Should he stay in Spokane?
Well, and with Mike Washington being down, and Mike Washington with the Achilles, and we don't know his future career status at all, but Truesdale was, at times, Truesdale wasn't even the starter. He was actually number 4 at times, and now he's getting invaluable reps, and he's only getting better and stronger as the season goes on. So he is clearly going to be one for the future.
And Amos as well, Anthony Amos, leading all rookies in receiving this year. He's a guy that can be a complimentary receiver.
Yeah, there's a nice stockpile of talent. It's just a matter of putting all the pieces together.
Handoff on first down.
And this is just going to come down to one more positive yardage run, and the clock will tick, 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 and this game will be in the books.
Now, Odie Armstrong, last week becoming the 4th player in AFL history to rush for at least 100 career touchdowns. So Armstrong, there he is, number 32 in the backfield. He'll try to get forward progress and end this ball game. Is this offsides?
It's a dead ball, that's for sure. So we'll have one more play left if it goes positive
Offside
yardage.
on the high motion man, number 80, half the distance. Repeat second down.
Yeah. Just a quiet end to this game. San Jose just manhandling Spokane. Well, we count 42 unanswered points after a 20-20 tie late in the second quarter.
And Armstrong on the carry. Clock continues to run, and folks, that's going to do it as Spokane falls to 4-9, losing this one 62-27. San Jose, meanwhile, improves to 13-1, best record in all of arena football. And folks, when we come back, we'll wrap things up with the post-game show and look ahead on the Spokane Shock schedule. 62-27, the final here tonight at the arena.